Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Fulton Homes is bringing legendary Fulton quality back to the West Valley. Explore 4 exceptional West Valley locations with more standard features and thousands of ways to personalize your home. Find out why people buy Fulton Homes over and over again. Fulton Homes. You're proud to own. We're proud to build.
It's Halloween time, and the Disneyland Resort's 70th celebration is here. Spooky delights are brewing with spine-tingling cheer. A pinch of pumpkin, a dash of fright, a flicker of joy to paint the night. Watch as a giant Mickey pumpkin, a headless horseman, and happy haunts have a ball. Cars Land becomes Radiator Screams. Plus, there are seasonal favorites like Haunted Mansion Holiday and Guardians of the Galaxy, Monsters After Dark. Enjoy tricks, treats, and a ghostly invitation. This happy Halloween, join the Disneyland Resort 70th celebration. Halloween time, August 22nd through October 31st. Visit Disneyland.com or contact your travel advisor for important details.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
A series win over the weekend for the Arizona Diamondbacks. What level of concern do we have about Marvin Harrison Jr. and the sophomore step-ups for the Phoenix Suns? All of that, hour number one of the program, the lunch break, right here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you here on the Monday edition of the program. Appreciate you joining us. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend, ready to get the week started. Producer Evan is behind the glass, ready to take your phone calls. 480-864-1060 is your way to join us. You can watch the program over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel. You can listen to us on the app. I think I got all the plugs in here. Let's get this week started, and let's start with the baseball team because there is something that happened over the weekend, and maybe you're going to tell me I'm making a bigger deal out of it than I should be, but I thought something notable happened over the weekend.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
The first series for this team post-trade deadline. The first series since Eugenio Suarez was moved, since Merrill Kelly was moved, Shelby Miller was moved. The first full series in the new era for Arizona Diamondback baseball. No longer are we trying to convince ourselves that this team is going for it. No longer are we trying to convince ourselves that they shouldn't sell at the deadline. Now they have pivoted, and now it's all about getting ready for 2026 and 2027. How would the team play? And it didn't start off all that great. It started off with them losing the opener there against the Sacramento, Oakland, Las Vegas A's, extending their losing streak to 6 games. But then it was what happened the rest of the weekend that has me feeling optimistic. And I know we can start by laying out all the caveats to this. It's a random series in what is now a lost season. It is a random series that probably by the time we get to spring training next season, many of us will have forgotten, myself included, that it even happened. But the beauties of what we do here every day is we get to react in the moment. We get to look at exactly what took place either the night before or the weekend prior and give you our immediate reaction as things happen. So yeah, the caveat applies that it's a random series in a lost season that we're going to forget very quickly. And yes, I understand it's a Sacramento, Oakland, Las Vegas team that isn't particularly very good, although they have a very young core, that I think in a couple of years, many of us would not be surprised to see the Oakland A's relevant. The Sacramento A's, I think they'll be the Vegas A's by that point, being relevant and making noise in the American League. But right now, still a team that's developing, still a team that has a young core that isn't fully blossomed yet. I get that. Put all those caveats out there. I was encouraged by what I saw over the weekend by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Not because they won, but because of how they won, who they won with. If 2026 is going to matter the way I think it could, if 2027 is going to be a year where the window reopens like many of you think, that's when it'll happen. The players that were at the center of what we saw over the weekend, the 2 wins on Saturday and Sunday, the players that were at the center of this past weekend are the players that are going to be at the center of 2026 and 2027. You want to start with Saturday's game? You want to go in chronological order? Yeah, we're doing a little box score scouting here. But home runs from Ketel Marte, Alek Thomas, Corbin Carroll, all 3 of those guys going to be at the center of things next season. All 3 of those guys, part of this core offensively, maybe not Alek Thomas, although he has a 2-month runway to prove us wrong. RBIs from Marte, Gurriel Jr., his future up in the air. Thomas, young player. Del Castillo, Corbin Carroll. All players that we expect to be at the center of things. Remember, the reason why the Diamondbacks are in this mess isn't because of their offense. Their offense has talent. Andrew Salfrank pitching a scoreless inning in that game. Kevin Ginkel pitching a scoreless inning in that game. Players that could be a part of things, should be a part of things next season. So that was Saturday. Let's move to Sunday's 6-4 win. Blaze Alexander. And let me tell you right now, I don't know if he's going to win this job. I don't know if Jordan Lawler is going to run away with the third base job once he finally gets up here and gets to play every day. But I'll tell you what, there's a spot on the 2026 Diamondbacks for a player like Blaze Alexander, either as the third baseman or as a super utility infielder that can be moved all over the diamond. Every team needs a player like that. Blaze went 2 for 5 with a pair of RBIs yesterday. How about the weekend for the new first baseman of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Tyler Locklear? A multi-hit day, stealing a base, creating that chaos on the base pass. That's a look into the future. That is what every one of these series is now about. Is taking these games in, watching them, and paying attention to the players that you know are going to be here next season. The players that are going to play an important role of this turnaround. And that's what you saw over the weekend. Are the Diamondbacks going to all of a sudden become the 2024 Tigers and go on a run and surprise us all? That's not what I'm saying. That's not how I am starting the week. But I am starting the week by saying this is why I have confidence about 2026. Because there are still extremely talented players on this roster. There are young players that are getting opportunities to contribute and fight for a spot on the 2026 team. Alek Thomas, Blaze Alexander, Tyler Locklear. You're going to see some of the relievers here over the coming weeks. You're going to see maybe Cole Drake and the other starters that they got back in the Merrill Kelly deal. A chance to see those players contribute at the big league level. And you're going to get a glimpse of the future. You're going to get a chance to embrace the optimism. And so that is my message to all of you today. Embrace what the rest of this season can be. Embrace that, yes, not ideal, not where we wanted this franchise to be, but there is still something to play for. There is still something positive that can come out of the rest of this month and the month of September. The final 2 months do have meaning. I know I said earlier that this is a random series in a lost season. This is not a fully lost season. There are still opportunities all over the place. You saw them on display this weekend. Now, Producer Evan, I can feel it. I usually have a good gauge on whether or not me and the listeners are going to be on opposite sides of things. This feels like the Diamondbacks in particular. We've been at odds, me, the listener. I separate you from this. You've kind of been able to avoid any of the pushback that we've gotten here, even though you agree with me. I'm taking a lot of the heat. I'm the main guy on the show. I'm not surprised by that. I anticipate that
as our fearless leader.
I anticipate my optimism is not going to be met with the happiness today that it should have. But that's the way I feel today. That's the way I feel coming out of this series. Yeah, it's Oakland, Sacramento. Who cares? Team's not very good. Yeah, you beat up on a bad team. Great. Congratulations. It's what it symbolized. It's who contributed over the weekend. It's the opportunities that we've already seen, just 3 games post-deadline, the opportunities that are being given to young players who are fighting for roster spots, who don't have things guaranteed for 2026. That's what encourages me, because competition is what is going to get the most out of a Tyler Locklear. Competition is what is going to get the most out of a Blaze Alexander. And this is their chance. For the bullpen arms, for the starters that get called up, for everybody that isn't part of that core that we've outlined, Cattell, Corbin Carroll, Perdomo, Moreno, everybody else, you're fighting for your spot. Here's a 2-month head start on everybody else to get it done. And so that's what encourages me about the rest of this season.
No, we talked about it. You now have to watch the Diamondbacks games differently. The scores don't matter. The production from guys that are going to be a part of this next year do. Seeing Tyler Locklear have multiple hits, stealing a base, those are things that you start going, okay, that's something we can build on. When Jordan Lawler comes up, seeing what he can do playing every day at third base, building on things, knowing that Cattell Marte and Geraldo Perdomo, Corbin Carroll are going to be here. Alec Thomas is going to be here. What are they going to give me for the rest of 2025? What can they build on in 2026? That's what watching these games are. And when you watch this weekend, you're happy that, okay, they understand that they have to build on what they do for the rest of this year into next year. And there's excitement to be had about some of the young guys playing and some of the guys you know are going to be here.
This is an opportunity. And I think that's the way it needs to be framed. This is an opportunity to get a jump start on 2026. We said that the trade deadline was Mike Hazen's chance to get a jump start on the work that needs to be done over the offseason. A lot of work that needed to be done over the offseason. Needed to replace a lot of your rotation. Needed to replace who was playing third, who was playing first. And I said at the time, weeks before the deadline, you can't do all of that in one offseason. You can't do all of that work in one winter. Yeah, you have more time than you do with the deadline, but the free agent classes aren't always strong in all of those spots. You're going to have limited resources, limited capital to do so. And so you need some younger players to fill those voids. And the way you do that is by acing the trade deadline, by getting in those players. Now, are these the players that are going to fill those needs, fill those voids? We'll find out. But the positional priority that the Diamondbacks placed in the trade deadline, I thought was perfect. That they targeted the right things to help them in 2026 and specifically help them, Mike Hazen, this offseason in their action items for what they have to do. If Cole Drake comes up and he looks impressive in the handful of starts, couple of starts that he gets down the stretch here, and you can start to pencil him in, maybe even put him in pen for the 2026 rotation, that's one less arm that you need to grab to fill a starting spot. It just creates something that a word that we use all the time around here that's important. You got to have flexibility. As a general manager, as an organization, flexibility is so important. Look at what the inability of being flexible got the Phoenix Suns. Roster was locked, jammed, couldn't do anything. Above the second apron, couldn't move any of those contracts. Bradley Beal had a no-trade clause, didn't want to trade Devin Booker. Above the second apron, so you couldn't aggregate salaries. All of your first-round picks are in other markets where other teams are rooting for your downfall. You had zero flexibility. You couldn't even get creative to get out of that flexibility. The way you had to do it was to trade Kevin Durant, was to wave and stretch and buy out Bradley Beal. You had to take some pain with it in order to get that flexibility. Mike Hazen is trying to create that flexibility now. And I think he's done a great job. And over the next 2 months, we'll see how good of a job he did, how well he aced the deadline. Everybody knows where I stand on the job that Mike Hazen did. Now it's up to the players, the development, the coaching of the Diamondbacks, and I think you started to see a little bit on display. And again, there's a lot of talent on this team still. I know they traded Suarez. I know they traded Naylor. Still got 2 bona fide MVP candidates in Carroll and Marte in the top of the lineup. Those guys have pride. Those guys are leaders. Those guys are going to be here next year. They're not just going to roll over. You're not looking at a team that's all of a sudden going to win 70, 72 games. They're going to be fighting for something. They're going to be competing every single night. You saw it over the weekend. They win a series. Now they welcome in the San Diego Padres, or they play the San Diego Padres next. And now it's about playing spoiler. It's about being a thorn in those teams' side. There's pride in that. I think you're going to see that pride on display the rest of the season. Again, I'm not trying to paint this with rose-colored glasses that the rest of the season is going to be good and make sure you sit down and watch every single Diamondbacks game and clear your schedule for a playoff race. That's not what this is. But I do think that in this bad stretch that the Diamondbacks are going through right now as they retool and pivot their roster, there is an opportunity. And you saw it on display over the weekend, and I think you're going to continue to see it on display as the season progresses. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel. You can watch us over there as well. When we come back, it is now 3 practices in a row that he has missed. How concerned should we be? That's next on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. Stevie Nicks.
One special night, October 7th, PHX Arena. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com.
Don't miss Stevie Nicks.
Live at PHX Arena.
At Sprouts, you'll find healthy around every corner and tasty on every shelf. And you know what's even more delicious? With our new Sprouts Rewards, you can earn points, explore member-only perks and personalized offers, and enjoy savings. Download the Sprouts app to join today.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
Jack here. My bonus Jack combo starting at $3.99 comes with fries, a drink, and a burger with 1, 2, or 3 patties. It's a meal that'll actually make you happy. Starting at $3.99. Get so much more.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Plus tax, limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
I'm here with you, Rome Report, and the bag is back. Actually, he never left. I'm talking about LeBag James and that ridiculous post he threw up on the gram during a workout with a giant Clippers sign in the backdrop and the caption, quote, "Say whatever you want, but you damn sure won't be able to say I didn't put in the work. We'll see what happens when I no longer exist. Man, F this shh," end of quote. Dang, Bag. There's those super lame, passive-aggressive, middle-of-the-night posts with cryptic emojis. Then there's a full-blown temper tantrum with LeBaby in his high chair throwing his food all over the kitchen. And to me, that's a shot at Luka Doncic. Like, I've been putting in the work for 20-plus years, but this dude does it for 3 months, and he's the hero? What about me? What about you, Bag? Accept who and what you are now, Pops. Keep this up, and you will go out as an all-time Bag instead of an all-time great. Fall in line, soldier. You're no longer that guy, and it's no longer your team. I'm Jim Rome. Football is back, and so is the action on Prize Picks. With millions of members and billions of dollars awarded in winnings, Prize Picks is the best place to put your takes to the test. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code ROAM and get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. Stay cool this summer with AC Pro Refrigerant at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get a $15 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select AC Pro Refrigerant products that include a hose and gauge. If your vehicle's AC is blowing hot air, beat the heat with AC Pro. Visit your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Well, it's certainly troubling if you're doing a fantasy draft this week. I just don't know how concerning it is for the start of the regular season. Marvin Harrison Jr. missing the last couple of practices for the Arizona Cardinals with what the team is describing as a knee stiffness, soreness. That's what's kept him out. An illness also has popped up and kept him sidelined. And it's early. It is August 4th. We haven't even played a preseason game yet. I think it's totally reasonable for a team with their number one wide receiver, a former first-round pick, took him number 4 overall. He is one of the young members of your core. The success of your team greatly depends on how he performs. Anything's bothering him here at the beginning of training camp, you are going to err on the most extreme side of caution. You are going to give Marvin Harrison Jr. all of the time that he needs to be back to being 100%. Because this is not his rookie season. He's been here, gone through a full offseason, gone through OTAs, gone through a full training camp, gone through his rookie campaign, knows the offense. There's not a whole lot of change there. So there isn't stuff he's missing on getting up to speed. You just hate that a player of his importance and the chemistry between him and the quarterback is so important that they can't get those valuable reps right now. Do I think this missed period of time is going to determine the success or failure of the Cardinal season? No, I do not. You would just like to have every rep possible between your quarterback and your wide receiver. You would want every chance for Drew Petzing to see how these guys are reacting to whatever he's installing that given day. You want to have as much information as possible when you make a decision, right? Buying a house, leasing, buying a new car, applying for a job somewhere. You're going to do your research. You want to be the most informed you can be. I want to know every square inch of this house. I want to know every single feature on this car if I'm going to buy it. Because when I get in it, it's on me. If you're Drew Petzing, you're trying to put together an offense. You need to know every detail, every piece of information. Same goes for Marvin Harrison Jr. This is a very detailed-oriented sport. Route timing. That unspoken connection with the quarterback where you guys can just look at each other and you're speaking the same language. So, yeah, I would much rather have Marvin Harrison Jr. out there at practice. I would much rather have those reps. This is where, producer Evan, you'll like this. Give me those clips of Marvin Harrison Jr. making great plays on social media. I'll take those compared to us having to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. being banged up with an injury. Feed me all the social media content of Marv. But I am not going to start to panic yet until we get closer to the beginning of the season and Marv's status is up in the air. And it doesn't sound like that is on the radar for this team.
We're early in camp. He's missed a couple practices in a row. But if it was something serious, we would know.
Not only that, but I do think if we were closer to the regular season, maybe Marv would push it a little more. Maybe it's just the thing where, hey, he said something's bothering him, so JG, they just have a rule. You're sitting down for a couple of days. There is only a risk to pushing it. There's really, truly not a whole lot to gain. Again, I want those reps, but there is more to lose than there is to gain by Marv pushing on that knee.
And I can't imagine he'll even see the field on Saturday if he was healthy. So why push it? What's the point? We're in game 1 of the preseason. Listen, sit him down for a few days, make sure he's healthy, because that's the most important thing. We know that he's put on weight this offseason. That could be a factor into kind of playing into a heavier body. All of these things could be minor factors into why he's missed a couple days of practice. But if it's not serious, don't push him.
Again, there's more risk than there is to gain by pushing him. Especially when we've just flipped the calendar to August. To your point, we haven't even played a preseason game yet. Arizona Cardinals haven't even taken the field for a preseason game. That'll happen for the first time this weekend. And to your point, I don't know how much the starters are going to play. Starters don't play a whole lot in preseason anymore. As much as you like them to, as much as you would like them to slowly get that ramp up, maybe play a series. And remember, I can remember growing up. This isn't that long ago because I'm only 30, but I can remember growing up listening to sports talk radio, listening to the NFL shows on ESPN. And I can remember just the old adage. You're going to play a series in the first preseason game. The second preseason game, you'll do 2 series. A third preseason game, you may play a quarter. And then that last preseason game, you play a whole half. And then you get that first drive coming out of the second half to get you coming out of the locker room. And that's it. That was the ramp up. Now, you'll be lucky if you play a series if you're one of the main starters on either side of the ball. Quarterbacks don't play
at all.
At all. Would you be surprised right now if Kyler Murray didn't take a single snap in preseason? Would it surprise you? Would it shock you?
I would be more surprised if he took a snap in preseason.
Look across the NFL. Don't be surprised if most quarterbacks... Joe Burrow taking any snaps in preseason?
No.
He may play a series.
We may see some of the rookies play snaps. I think that could be it.
He may play a series.
I think J.J. McCarthy could play a couple series.
I think J.J. McCarthy could play a couple of series. I think the Colts have a quarterback battle on their hand. I think those guys are going to have to play a little bit more. Patrick Mahomes
will not see the field.
Again, a series, and then that's it. A series where he may hand off the ball 3 times and may not actually throw a pass. Mahomes is a veteran. He knows how to get himself prepared. They're not going to need those reps in preseason games. But gone are the old school ways of getting yourself ready. And so it lingers into the beginning of the season. I know we all miss football. We all love football. That first week can be a little sloppy. Those first 2 weeks, you can see some silly play. I mean, at the time, we thought it was a big upset. Remember when the Patriots went into Cincinnati the first week of the season last year and beat them? It should have been a sign of things to come for Cincinnati, but that's the type of stuff that happens in the first week of the season because nobody plays in preseason anymore. So Marv's not missing an opportunity, I think, this weekend to play. All of his work, the work that he is doing, the stuff that's going to get him more prepared for the season is going to be the stuff that he does on the side. The stuff that he does in 7-on-7, red zone, 11-on-11, whatever they're doing on the practice field every day.
I would love to sit down and see the numbers on teams that don't play play their guys in the preseason if they come out and lose that week 1 more than most.
I think it would be hard to do that now because most teams don't play a lot of their starters in preseason.
Like last year, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Did Kyler play last year? He's coming off the injury. They came out and gave Buffalo a good run there.
They were beating them through the first half. They should have won the game. They just played sloppy in the second half. I don't know off the top of my head if he played last year. I am going to look, though. Do you think – how about this? Do you think if I go to ESPN right now and I go to stats, they're going to have preseason numbers? Do you think that's even going to be an option on the drop-down? It's not an option on the drop-down. I knew it wasn't. You're going to have to go to the real true source, Pro Football Reference.
Yeah, I didn't think that'd be an option.
Now, ESPN wasn't going to have that for me. I don't even know if Pro Football Reference is going to have preseason stats. I don't care about the stats. I just want to know if he played.
But last year, right, you talked about Patriots-Bengals. That Bengals offense looked bad.
But the defense all year long looked bad. So, again,
they only gave up 16 points in that game. They lost that one 16-10. And I get it. Gesicki fumbles on the 1-yard line. But even then, 17 points.
No, I would agree with you. You have preseason games here, Pro Football Reference. If I click on 2024, are you gonna load up preseason games for me? You're not gonna load up preseason games. Preseason doesn't exist. They don't even keep stats for it.
No, they don't.
That's how serious it is. We don't even care anymore. We don't even care about preseason football.
It's funny to see the quarterbacks that have been around so long that remember playing.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers knows. Aaron Rodgers knows about preseason football.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco knows about preseason football.
Like those guys used to play a full half.
Like I said, the last preseason game, when we had 4, the last preseason game, you would play basically a whole half and you'd get one drive going into the second half. You would play almost a full half of football.
100%. It's crazy the way it's gone.
Kyler Murray did not play in preseason last year, according to the stats that I have here. Played in 3 preseason games his rookie year. Played in 1 preseason game in 2021. Played in 1 preseason game in 2022, and then did not play in preseason each of the last 2 years.
I would be shocked if he plays this year.
Of course not. Because, again, there's just more risk to it than there is reward.
As far as starters, the only ones I see are rookies and J.J. McCarthy and the Colts.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that needs to play, if there's a major quarterback battle. Bryce Young in Carolina, do you want to get him some time?
That could be another one. You give him some time, but one series?
Yeah.
He's the definitive starter there.
Yeah, but there's a lot of development still that he needs. Right? Like Kyler Murray. Do we think that his success this year is going to be determined by what he does and how much he plays in the preseason? No. He's a veteran at this point.
He knows how to get ready.
He's either going to succeed or fail in the regular season, and it's not going to be because he didn't play in the preseason. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, a pair of sophomores, Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro. What role do they have in the Phoenix Suns turnaround? That's next on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Hosier presents the Unreal Unearthed Tour 2025 live in Phoenix. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, October 7th. With special guest, Amble. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The #1 album, Unreal Unearthed, is available everywhere. For more, visit hosier.com.
Every day, savings, energy efficiency, rebates. Every day at APS, you have ways to save energy and money. We know how important it is to keep your bill as low as possible. That's why we offer programs to help you manage your energy use. Schedule a home energy checkup for savings recommendations tailored to your home. Find rebates on smart thermostats. Compare your rate plan options and switch to the plan that would have saved you the most money. Find ways to save at aps.com/brighter.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
It's time to talk Grizzly.
The air conditioner made specifically for Arizona summers.
Alaskan AC introduced the Grizzly a couple years ago, and the reviews are pouring in.
This one says, I love how quiet it is. I can hardly hear it come on, but I'm always comfortable.
Another person writes, finally an air conditioner that can withstand the desert heat and dust.
This one says, I like its fluffy fur and cute black nose.
Anyway, if it's time to upgrade your AC, you can't do better than the Grizzly.
Only available at Alaskan AC.
People love it.
Like this person who said, we live in an older home and the Grizzly keeps us comfortable in every room.
Or this guy. We live just outside of town and the dust is horrible. Glad we have an AC that can take it.
Or this one. He's so cuddly and has these adorable pads on his paws.
Gary, I think you're on a different webpage.
Gary, I think you're different.
Learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Every summer, across the valley, hundreds of our homeless neighbors die because of the heat. This is tragic, and it is preventable. None of us can stop the heat, but together we can save lives. With incredible partners like you, Phoenix Rescue Mission is able to provide life-saving water and critical care to our neighbors in need. Join us this summer and make a difference. Learn more at phoenixrescuemission.org/code red.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Make sure you download the KDUS AM 1060 app. You can also stream the show, KDUS1060.com. And over there, you can listen for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Colorado Rockies Saturday, August 9th at Chase Field. The force is strong at Chase Field. The first 20,000 fans at the game on Saturday, August 9th get a Corbin Carroll Rebel Pilot bobblehead courtesy of Cox. We've got your chance to win 4 tickets over on the KDUS AM 1060 app, the KDUS1060.com website. Just make sure you are registered and logged in while you are listening. You can also get your tickets at dbacks.com/SGT. Producer Evan may be in attendance. He may try to be one of the first 20,000 fans in attendance this
Gonna
Saturday.
be jogging over there. I got to be in early.
You got to be one of the first, it says right here, first 20,000 fans.
Have to be.
You just have to be.
And what's appropriate to wear at Star Wars night at Chase Field? Do you wear a Star Wars shirt? Do you wear a D-back shirt?
I think you would be well within your right to wear anything Star Wars related or anything Diamondbacks related. Is it
maybe a Star Wars shirt, Diamondbacks hat?
Do we know for certain that it is Star Wars night? One would assume that based on the promo, based on the copy that I just read here, that it would be Star Wars night. So then that would be allowed. But I don't know for certain. Again, Rebel Pilot Bobble, you would assume Star Wars night. And I love Star Wars. So baseball, Star Wars, you put those things together, I'll be at the ballpark. I went to a Padres game last year, and we went for my daughter's birthday. She went out to San Diego, and we wanted to see a baseball game. And it just so happens to be Star Wars fireworks night at the ballpark. Very cool fireworks display. Producer Evan is frantically typing into the computer.
Doesn't say anything. Just says Corbin Carroll Rebel Pilot bobblehead courtesy of Cox.
Maybe they can't say that it's Star Wars night. They don't mention it anywhere else. They say the Force. They say Rebel Pilot, but they don't actually use the phrase.
I think you might be right.
Maybe. I know a guy. I should text my buddy, in-game host Mike Bauer. He and I go way back. Should text him and find out. He'll have the answer.
Mike Bauer was one of my professors in college.
Put a pin in that. We'll get back to that at some other time, that Mike Bauer was your professor, because I remember when Bauer started being a teacher, and in our group chat, we kind of joked about him being a professor because we're like, what are you going to teach? And he was explaining it. And I'm like, I just can't see you being a professor. I've just known him for so long. Was it a good time? It was a good class?
It was a great class.
Okay.
It was very early on, freshman year, maybe.
It's probably around the time that he started teaching you. Yeah. The Phoenix Suns, they have had themselves a very busy offseason, doing a lot.
setting themselves up for a brand new direction.
The alignment.
And I have taken a more optimistic approach than most, especially from a national media perspective. Saw a story this morning on ESPN.com that had everybody in a bucket of what they are all in on for 2020, for this upcoming season. And so I'll just read you some of the tiers, right? They have the all in on winning a championship before the window closes. Okay, you got a bunch of teams in there. You have all in on extending their championship window. Okay, a bunch of teams in there. All in on building around young cores, some teams in there. Then you have the all in on the 2 timelines. Okay, Clippers, Lakers, teams like that in there. Then you have the all in on a gap year. That's where they have the Celtics and the Pacers. All in on draft positioning. Then they have a bucket of teams that are all in on nothing. And then all the way at the bottom, Phoenix Suns in a tier all amongst themselves, all in on ... 2024. Just once again, hammering the Phoenix Suns for their mistakes of the past, saying that they're not on a clear timeline, that they have their first-round pick frozen, they have Booker and Beal's salaries on the books through 2030, and again, taking a very pessimistic approach to the Suns' future over the next couple of years. I tend to think more positively about the direction that they're going in. I don't expect the playoffs. I don't expect them to make noise in the Western Conference for a little bit, but I do expect the team to win more games next season. I do expect us to enjoy watching Suns basketball more next season. I do expect to actually see a vision. I am certainly
the alignment.
I'm part of it, Brian. Sign me up. I'm in. I'm ready to go. Send me the t-shirt. I love the coaching hire. I love the moves that he made this offseason. And that leads me to 2 players in particular. Because ESPN also put out a story talking about the top 10 sophomores to keep an eye on for next season in the NBA. No Ryan Dunn, no Oso Iguodala for the Phoenix Suns. And that's fine. You don't have to be on that list. But it got me thinking. Are those the 2 players that maybe we're not talking enough about? Talking about Jalen Green a lot. Talking about Devin Booker a lot. Talking about Malawach a lot. Talking about Williams a lot. But is it those 2 guys that we should be talking about more? Is it those 2 guys that we need to keep an eye on more? Because are those 2 guys the path out for the Phoenix Suns? Ryan Dunn developing an offensive game to go along with how good he is defensively. That changes the equation for the Phoenix Suns. Now you have a perimeter wing player that can knock down shots, can be an elite defender. That is a game changer. Oso providing that young athleticism at the center spot, along with Malawach, along with Williams, giving you a 3-headed monster. You can make Oso the 4. You can play some bigger lineups to show off that athleticism. If those guys reach their potential, if those guys reach their ceiling and not their floor, if Jordan Ott, the player development coach, the guy who started in the league as a video coordinator for player development, if that coach can get Ryan Dunn and Oso to play to their ceiling and not their floor, if you can max out what those 2 players are, doesn't that change how we feel about the Phoenix Suns? Doesn't it change both the short and long-term outlook for this franchise? Doesn't it make you feel differently about what this roster has? Because right now it's a lot of potential. Malawach, number 10 overall pick, a lot of potential. Williams, a young center who has an injury history, a lot of potential. Jalen Green, a 23-year-old player, still has some potential that needs to be tapped into. Dunn, Oso, entering year 2. Nice flashes during their rookie campaign, still not reaching their potential. The Suns need to start getting some of these players, and they're early. This is the beginning stages. This is the launch of a startup company. The infancy. You're just getting started. You're just putting the team together. It's okay that you're not doing $100 million in revenue, doing $1 billion in revenue. Slow and steady. But you need to start paying off on some of those bets. Some of those moves that you've made as the startup need to start coming through. And I think the closest 2 players are Ryan Dunn and Oso Iguodala. And if those players play to their ceiling, we feel so different. We're not continuing to kick the Suns while they're down and saying that they're still all in on 2024 because of the balance that they're keeping, that they had to trade Kevin Durant. Instead, they probably move up a little bit. They probably move up to the tier of the teams that are all in on a young core. We're Atlanta, Detroit, Memphis, Portland, San Antonio. The Phoenix Suns, If some of these bets, some of these young players reach their potential, they are not that far off from being those teams. In fact, you could argue that if some of those bets pay off, they're in a better position than some of those teams because they have something those teams don't. They have Devin Booker. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Michael over there says, doesn't the odds maker say 31 wins this season? I have not. I'll raise my hand. I'll admit to it. I have not looked at NBA win totals yet. Is that bad of me as a radio host that I have not tapped into the NBA win totals yet?
No, I don't think so. There was a lot of focus on what they were going to do this offseason.
Hey, listen, a lot of focus.
The alignment.
Then we got right into the trade deadline. Now we're into preseason football. It came up, and it came up fast.
I'm now looking up NBA win totals before we go to break because I just got to know. So this story, let me just click on this.
31.5, though, just on feel, I would take the over.
31.5 on feel. Yeah, on vibes, I would take the over.
I just feel like they're a 500 basketball team.
You're right. The sports book that I am looking at has the over-under at 31.5. I almost want to, because we need to start, we haven't made a ton of show bets here yet. We'll start to do that because we may need to lock that one in early and just put that one on the whiteboard and just keep it. Because
I'm just going to go buy a whiteboard. We keep talking about this whiteboard.
No, there's got to be a whiteboard in the building. Shame on me. This is my fault. As the host of this program, fearless leader, program director, I need to take it upon myself to just go find the whiteboard in the building, and I just haven't done it. It's on me. I'll take the L. My bad. I'll be better. There'll be a whiteboard in here by the end of the week. Promise. There'll be a whiteboard behind me on this wall that will keep track of show-related things on. Or maybe we'll put it in your studio. Either way, end of the week, whiteboard in the building. Whether I have to call Jeff, get it delivered from Amazon, there will be a whiteboard here by the end of the week.
Perfect.
And I'm
holding you to it.
The first thing we will put on that whiteboard, Phoenix Suns over 31.5 wins. Lock it in. First lock of the season, first lock of 2025. We haven't lock it in, Suns over 31.5 wins.
Are we taking the Cardinals over?
Listen, we'll do football bets later on this month. Easy. One lock at a time. When we come back, little buy or sell to close up hour number one, the hottest takes in Sports Talk Radio. Producer Evan has them. I'm buying or selling them next. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Footprint Center, September 16th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails, live in Phoenix. Peel It Back World Tour 2025.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. Hi, I'm in a whirlwind of college prep. Gotcha. We've got affordable solutions to create the perfect college living space. Great. And visit our website to see how verified college students with an IKEA family account can receive a one-time use 15% off coupon. Nice. You guys think of everything. Pretty much. Offer ends 9/30/25. Valid ID required. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See IKEA-USA.com/ready-for-college for complete terms.
Every day begins with the promise of something new, a new perspective, a fresh start. At Banner Health, right here, right now, we're pioneering new ways to treat cancer with our own immune systems. We're among the first to treat Parkinson's with a patient's own cells. And we're a world leader in artificial heart implantation, all while training over 1,300 doctors every year. Impressive, right? It's just another Banner day. Banner Health.
This fall, choose Primavera Online, and you'll be choosing a school with flexibility, personalized support, and an award-winning curriculum that's over 20 years strong. Now enrolling grades K to 12 at chooseprimavera.com.
The UPS store has high-quality, industry-approved packaging materials. So stop by and get 15% off packing materials and protect it with our pack and ship guarantee. Visit the upsstore.com/guarantee or a location near you for full details.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Wrapping up what has been a very quick hour number one of the program. Appreciate you joining us here today on the Monday edition of The Lunch Break. Chris Schubert with you, producer Evan behind the glass, and this is when we bring producer Evan into the program. A little buy or sell to finish up our number one. Takes, sports takes, sometimes not sports takes. I either am buying or selling the takes. We get to wipe the slate clean.
0-0 on the week.
I have not bought or sold anything. This is a direct reflection, I think. Buy or sell is a direct reflection of my optimism or pessimism throughout the week. If I'm selling a lot, you can tell that it's a pessimistic week for me. If I'm buying, I'm optimistic. Let's go. Most of the time.
I think today may challenge that.
Today may be the inverse.
It may be.
I may be buying some negative things. Okay.
At least for one of them.
Okay.
Tyler Locklear is the most exciting prospect the Diamondbacks got at the trade deadline.
Ooh, I like this question a lot. I'm going to sell this only because, not a shot at Tyler Locklear as a prospect. I think he's going to be able to stick at first base and have some pop. I think the swing change that he made down in the minors this year is going to be long-lasting. A multi-hit game yesterday, stole a base, right? Showing off that he's got more than just a power skill set.
And I thought he had good at-bats.
Yeah.
I thought he had really good at-bats. I was happy with his weekend.
I'll tell you what, though. Kind of excited about these pitchers. Kind of excited about the trio of pitchers they got back from Merrill Kelly, because I think there's a really good chance one of them, if not two of them, are mainstays in this rotation.
I mean, you hit on one on those, it's a win. You hit on two,
it's a slam dunk.
It's a slam dunk.
So I'm going to sell only because I'm just more excited about the pitchers. But Tyler Locklear is probably going to play his way into the 2026 starting first base job. Oh, by the way, I saw somebody comment on this. We put out my thoughts on the Mike Hazen and Diamondbacks trade deadline on social media, and I saw somebody comment this, that if I like Locklear so much, why did the Mariners trade him? The Mariners can't take the lumps with Tyler Locklear, a young player developing. The Diamondbacks can take 2 months worth of lumps. They can take him maybe struggling next season. The Mariners are trying to win right now. That's why they need Josh Naylor. That's why they need Eugenio Suarez. They don't have time to let a prospect mature. They're trying to win right now.
Think about it from their organization's perspective as well, as they've never gotten over the hump.
Right.
They've never been out of an ALCS. They've never been to a World Series.
We may like this player a lot, but we're trying to do something we've never done.
So they figure their foot's on the gas, might as well put it all the way down.
Right. And so that's what they did. So sell the first take.
Ryan Dunn and Oso Igudaro will be traded by the Suns within the next few years.
Dude, I just did a whole thing about them being the future and this a sophomore explosion from them and them being a part of the answer here and changing the way we think. And now you're just going to be like, oh, we're trading them. No, sell. Not trading those guys. They are, by definition,
I said one,
the identity that Brian Gregory and Jordan Ott are trying to put together. Both of those players, the poster children for what the Suns are trying to build. Those guys aren't going anywhere. No. Not even in a Jonathan Kuminga trade, which, by the way, Warriors are not trading Jonathan Kuminga, like we said.
We
2 weeks
lost
ago.
steam on Kuminga.
Well, they just were never moving him, and they wanted a first-round pick. And I said, well, that's going to make it difficult. The Phoenix Suns don't have a first-round pick to trade. So, no, sell. They're not trading either of those guys.
Not even if a perfect offer comes up that includes one of them?
What's a perfect offer? And I'm not trolling you. I'm just, what's a perfect offer? Because to me, you're including those guys as part of a package to get a superstar to play alongside Devin Booker, right?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Let's say Milwaukee does want to move on from Giannis.
Your timeline's not going to match up with that.
Okay.
I hear you. That timeline's not going to match.
Okay. What if Philadelphia all of a sudden's like, hey, we're selling Maxey?
It's a little different. I think it's a little different. If they wanted Ryan Dunn or Oso, what do I always say? You answer the phone. You always answer the phone. But I'm still selling this take for right now. I would not trade either of those guys.
The Cardinals will consider a mid-year switch at offensive coordinator if the offense struggles early.
This is a really good buy or sell to lead us into what we're going to talk about at the top of the hour, because I want to frame this. We're now transitioning, and most of you can probably tell this. This is now going to become mainly a football show. Baseball is going to kind of just fade into the background. We're going to get ready for the football season. And I'm going to open hour number 2 talking about which coach is under the most pressure this upcoming season for the Cardinals. And it definitely feels like it's Drew Petzing. And it definitely feels like if Jonathan Gannon feels like there's a season worth saving and their offense can't get out of their own way, a mid-season coaching change with offensive coordinator could happen. So what's the take?
The Cardinals will consider a mid-year switch at offensive coordinator if the offense is struggling.
Will they consider it? Yes, I'll buy this. I think they will consider it. Not because you didn't say they will fire him. You're saying they will consider. I'm sure somebody will ask the question. Somebody will be like, do we need to make a change at OC?
I was going to say, and it has nothing to do specifically with this year by itself, right? It's more about they lacked creativity last year. If they come out and lack creativity again, and you're not seeing the young guys improve, then it really becomes some questions start to get asked.
Yeah, it is going to depend on how it looks because, and this is where, no offense to any of you out there who fall into this camp, but a casual football fan might not be able to pick up on the differences here. Like, I can pull up the All-22 and I can see a creative play that maybe doesn't work. But to some, they will say that that's a failed play by Drew Petzing, whereas if you watch the play in the All-22, you're like, oh, no, I see what he was doing here. This play will work. They just were matched up against the wrong defense, or this route was running correctly. There is a way for them to not be, quote-unquote, successful.
Or even in your failed play, set them up. Right? Use that to build off of it later. It just felt like they lacked that creativity as well last year.
And I think you can have that creativity without there being the success. And so that will make it difficult for the Cardinals to decide what's actually going wrong. But do I think at some point, if the offense is struggling, they will consider making a change of play caller? Yes, I do.
The Miami Marlins might be the hottest team in baseball.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
The Miami Marlins might be the hottest team in baseball.
I don't think there's any might about it. They are the hottest team in baseball. So I will buy that they are the hottest team in baseball. I will sell the idea that they're going to make noise in the National League. Although, if you were going to have a recipe, what do you need in order to go on this type of run? You don't really need offense. You need pitching. They didn't trade either of the starters at the deadline.
They have pitching.
If Edward Cabrera pitches well, if Sandy Alcantara gets back to being a Cy Young or pitching close to a Cy Young level, they have the pitching that could get them there. I don't think they'll do it. I don't think they have a 2024 Tigers in them. They're now in third place in the NL East. They're separating from the Braves and the Nationals.
They did score 22 runs over the weekend.
Well, they played the Yankees, who can't play defense, and the bullpen with all their additions had a complete laugher of a game over the weekend.
The Friday meltdown.
It was everybody. It was Bednar. It was Doval. It was Bird. It was everybody.
It was everybody.
Caballero misplayed a ball in right field. Just a complete meltdown by the Yankees.
Friday's Pirates-Rockies game is one of the greatest regular season baseball games we've ever seen.
That was the game that ended 17-16, if I remember correctly.
On a walk-off 2-run home run that capped off a 5-run ninth inning after the Pirates scored 9 in the first inning.
How many times does a team score 16 runs and lose? That's where I'll leave that. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 when we come back. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th. Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
Hi. I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. Selling your house right now the traditional way isn't so easy. The average home is taking months to sell. Fortunately, I can help. I'll come to your home and give you a cash offer within minutes. Then we can close in under 5 days. And I'll make sure you get as much money for your house as possible. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today, and let's get your home sold. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com. That's AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
Hey, it's Austin Clark, owner of Moxie Pest Control. You know, most pest control companies use the same products we do. That's not the difference. But what is the difference is how we treat people. At Moxie, kindness counts. And it shows in every visit, every conversation, and every one of the 6,500 plus 5-star Google reviews our customers have written. Our field experts aren't just trained to handle pests. They're trained to treat your home, your family, your pets, and your time with the kind of respect you deserve. And our services come with a pest-free guarantee. Our methods and service just work better because our people are better. So if you want a pest control company you can trust in and around your home, give us a call. We offer same-day services in most cases, and we'll even give you 50% off your first service when you call. Call 888-MOXIE-10. That's 888-MOXIE-10. Moxie Pest Control, the highest and most reviewed pest control company in Arizona.
Save up to 40% on back to school with Lunchbox favorites made without 300 plus banned ingredients. Explore sales on organic produce, no antibiotics ever meat, and more. Now through September 2nd at Whole Foods Market.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Appreciate you joining us. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Producer Evan, I feel like I owe the listeners an update. You got the update in the morning meeting, but I did tease that we were hosting a very important, with a trophy and all, beer pong tournament over the weekend. Random teams drawn out of a hat. Bracket was randomized. Teams got buys because we had 6 teams. It's a very serious endeavor to the point where the people who are friends were surprised at how serious I was taking things. We were hosting a beer pong tournament at our house. I felt obligated to be a good commissioner, a good tournament runner, and make sure everybody had a good time. So it was double elimination. Did not go well for me. We did win one game, but we lost our first game and got immediately thrusted into the losers bracket. Won our losers bracket game and then lost to the eventual champions who came out of the losers bracket in what is perhaps the quickest game I've ever played. It was 5 minutes. The other team, I don't think, missed a shot. Sometimes you'll look across and just you're playing Steph Curry and he's going to go for 55 on you. That's what I was facing on Saturday. Just didn't go well.
You hate that.
Well, when you're the host, I felt like I was like, what do I do now?
It feels even worse then. That's a tough night at the office.
It was a rough go. It was a rough go. My fiance did make it to the finals.
Oh, there you go.
So she was and lost, but they lost 2 in a row too because the winner came from the losers bracket and won 2 games in the championship.
To win one, yeah.
All you had to do was win one.
Tough.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't just win the one game. Be the champion. Then at least, even though I didn't win, the trophy could have stayed at the house.
Exactly. It's about keeping it within your doors.
Now the trophy's someplace else, and now we got to wait for the next one to be organized so that somebody can try to win the trophy back.
How many teams were there?
We had 6 teams. We had 12 total participants. They were randomly drawn out of a hat. Everybody put their name in a bucket, and then we just randomly drew. And bit of not a conspiracy, but the team that won, a husband and wife that got drawn randomly, they got drawn to be on the same team. It's crazy. Twice we had to redraw. We had a botched first draw. We had to redo it.
And they got drawn together the first time too?
The first time too.
No way. That's crazy.
They were the last 2 names in the bin for the first draw. And then in the second draw, we got like halfway through and their names got pulled out. So it was destined to be.
That's insane.
They were destined to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Again, sometimes you just look across and you're playing Steph Curry. And that's what I faced on Saturday. That's what I faced. The Arizona Cardinals are going to face some amount of pressure this season, depending on which coach you are looking at. And as we kind of kick football into gear here on the program, I want to talk about which coach is under the most pressure. Now, before I answer this question, I think it's right to lay out the case for all 3 of these coaches, to lay out in what way they face pressure. And then we can debate which one faces the most pressure. And let's start with the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals in Jonathan Gannon. And the pressure that is on him is that he is entering year 3. And that is somewhat a line of demarcation. When you are a first-time head coach or when you first get to a job, whether it's in college or the pros, you usually get the first 2 years to implement your systems, to implement your personnel, to be able to start to put your fingerprints on the roster. And you have, over those first 2 years, some nice built-in excuses. Without actually doing it, you can throw the previous regime under the bus a little bit. You can throw the past GM and coach and coaches under the bus a little bit. You get a pass from the fan base for those first 2 years. Nobody cared about the wins and the losses the first year that JG was here. What mattered was the arrow trending upward. Did you feel better? It was a vibes thing. At the end of year 1, did you feel like the Cardinals were going in the right direction? And then year 2, you start to implement more of your processes. You start to get more of your personnel in here. You start to get players that fit your system in here. And then the team starts to take shape. It starts to take hold in your vision, in your eyes. And then year 3 is when the results have to come. Or else, people start asking questions. People start wondering, are you the right guy for the job? Yeah, you did a good job turning things around. You got things trending in the right direction, but you can't get the team over the hump. That's the pressure that Jonathan Gannon faces this season. This is the year where you have to deliver results. You start a new job. Everybody gets that grace period. Your first couple of months, you're getting up to speed. You're learning where everything is in the new building. You're learning your new team. You're learning your boss. You're learning the people that work alongside you, or maybe you are a direct report for some people. You're learning about them. You get a grace period over those first couple of months where if you make a mistake, it's no big deal. Somebody shows you the right way to do things and everybody moves on. Year 2, year 3 at that new job, after you pass the year mark, you can't make those simple mistakes anymore. You're held to a higher standard. This is the year where Jonathan Gannon is held to a higher standard. He overperformed in many ways last season. This is where the higher standard kicks in for Jonathan Gannon. So that's the pressure he faces this season. Drew Petzing, the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals, faces some pressure. The offense has stayed relatively the same from last season. The offense is filled with talent. One of the best young tight ends in the game. A young, promising wide receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think this is controversial to say. A talented quarterback under center. 2 really solid running backs. An offensive line group up the middle and on the left side you feel really good about. You have some worries about the right side, but overall a group that is consistent, a group that has a lot of continuity. The expectation is that this offense takes the next jump. And all eyes are looking at Drew Petzing and saying, this team didn't add any talent. And they didn't add any talent because they expect this group to hit certain milestones. It's your job to get them there. It's your job to be more creative as a play caller. It's your job to get Marvin Harrison Jr. more involved in the offense. It's your job to make sure Trey McBride is a featured staple of this passing game. It's your job to carve up the playing time for James Conner and Trey Benson to best utilize both of their skill sets. And selfishly, if you're Drew Petzing, you also want to put a bunch of stuff on tape that gets you more head coaching interviews next offseason. That's the pressure that faces Drew Petzing. And maybe a not talked about enough coach, but one that does face pressure is Nick Rallis, the defensive coordinator. And do you want to know why he faces pressure? Producer Evan, would you agree? Defense overperformed in many ways last season. Played a lot better than the expectations were when you looked at the talent on paper, especially up front. They didn't have a whole lot. That was their Achilles heel. But they still, in the middle stages of the season, played well, no?
100%.
Played well. Now, you spent money on Josh Sweat. You paid Calais Campbell to come back. You brought in Dalvin Tomlinson. You in the draft prioritized with your first 2 picks, a defensive lineman in Walter Nolan, a corner in Will Johnson. You have 0 excuses for this defense to not make a substantial leap into year 3. You have 0 margin for error for this group to not be one of the top 10 defenses in the NFL this upcoming season. Pass rush, you shouldn't have a pass rush problem anymore. You added Josh Sweat. You beefed up your interior. You've got young players like Darius Robinson and Walter Nolan. You have BJ Ojolari coming off of an injury, a young pass rusher that can play on the opposite side of Sweat. You have Budda Baker. You have a young, extremely talented corner room. Last year, you had to do it with some smoke and mirrors, and we applauded you for your effort. It was a great coaching job. But now you got the reinforcements. So expectations come with that because you made more with less last season. And so now you need to make more with more this season. So those are the 3 coaches. Those are the 3 cases for why they're under pressure this season. Regular listeners of this program know how I feel about putting pressure and putting a hot seat label on Jonathan Gannon. I don't buy it. Putting a hot seat label on Jonathan Gannon for this upcoming season feels foolish. At the end of the season, you betcha. So the pressure that he faces is he's got to deliver results or he's going to be on the hot seat next season, but he is not under pressure the way the other 2 coaches are. And in particular, to nobody's surprise, the coach that's under the most pressure for this team this season is the offensive coordinator. Because we've been doing buy or sell for a couple of months now. We've been having a lot of conversations about the Arizona Cardinals in buy or sell. Maybe I'm wrong with this. Maybe somebody can go back and listen in the archives and check me. But I don't think we've had a conversation about any of the other coaches being removed in season the way we just did in the previous buy or sell about Drew Petzing. And it is fair to wonder if we get to that point where the offense is struggling during the season, if they'll make that change. Nobody is questioning whether or not this team's going to make a head coaching change in the middle of the season. Nobody is questioning whether or not this team will make a DC change in the middle of the season. But we are all wondering if this offense isn't up to par, if this offense doesn't play to the standard. Remember, this is where continuity works against Drew Petzing and the Arizona Cardinals. You changed nothing. You changed nothing. Your starting right guard is a guy who made 5 starts for you last year, but is a player that you drafted. That's your one big change on the offensive line. Will Hernandez out, Isaiah Adams in. Everything else is the same. So that puts the pressure on the coach because that is the organization saying, we have enough talent here. There is enough talent in this room, on this squad, on this depth chart to be better than we were a year ago. So yeah, especially during the first half of the season where the schedule is nice and soft for the Arizona Cardinals, if they're not putting up big offensive numbers and they're not getting the results, they're not winning a lot of games, then you betcha we're going to have that conversation because it may be a saving the season type move. So Drew Petzing, of course, is the coach that faces the most pressure. But don't underestimate the pressure that the other 2 coaches face. Because now Nick Rallis has talent on that defense to work with. You can't take a step backwards. You can't be a worse defense than you were a year ago. I don't care how much new you have. I don't care that you have a young secondary. You have more talent than you did last year. It's just got to be better. Has to be. Arrow's got to trend upward. Same thing with the offense. You change nothing. That is a bet on the talent. That is a bet on the coaching. Arrow's got to be trending in the right direction. Arrow's got to be pointing upward. Up and to the right. That's where the arrow's got to be pointed. And for the coach, now the results are held against you. I laugh at these articles that talk about Jonathan Gannon's record over his first 2 seasons as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, as if it is a true indicator of how good of a coach he is. It is not. That first year, none of those results should be held against Jonathan Gannon. And last year, this team started out 6-4, limped to the finish, but started really well. This year is when the results are put on the ledger. This year is when the results are held against you. Pressure across the board. Pressure on all of these coaches. Some, their futures this year may depend on it. For others, their long-term futures with this organization. And potentially, in the case of Nick Rallis, getting a head coaching job in the future depends on it. But Drew Petzing has to evolve as a coordinator. And I hope that in our conversations about this, many of you don't think I think negatively of Drew Petzing. I think he is a smart offensive mind. I'm not surprised that he got some calls about getting a head coaching interview this past offseason. There just needs to be more creativity. You have the talent. We just need to see more of it. And I think that is the part of growing as a young coordinator, right? When he came over he was in Cleveland. He was a young quarterbacks coach. Wasn't a primary play caller. Is learning that job as he goes. And I think you should expect him to get better and better and better with time. If he plateaus or he takes a step backwards this season, then yeah, you got a problem. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Michael says it is a prove-it year for many. I would agree 100%. A huge prove-it year across the board for a lot of this Cardinals organization. When we come back, the coaches poll was just released, and boy, are they ranked high. How are they going to replace one of their biggest holes? That's next on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Class is back in session, and so is Phoenix Rising. Celebrate the start of the school year on Saturday, August 23rd at 7:30 p.m. as Phoenix Rising takes on Colorado Springs in the back-to-school match. It's a night for students, families, and fans of all ages to come together and kick off the new season in style. Tickets start at just $15. Grab yours now at phxrisingfc.com. New school year, same rising energy.
The legacy continues. Pantera. The heaviest tour of the summer.
What you say?
Tearing up Talking Sick Resort Amphitheater, August 26th. With Amon Amarth. On sale now at LiveNation.com. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Things are heating up, but the deals at McDonald's are very cool. Get any size soft drink or sweet tea for $1.39. Whether you reach for a crisp Diet Coke, ice cold Sprite, or fruity Fanta Orange, you've got options. There's a size for any occasion, like a quick sip in the car, an afternoon energy boost, or the perfect add-on to a meal. So swing by, cool off, and grab a summer sip with a $1.39 refreshment. Only at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or complement. Diet Coke, Fanta, and Sprite are registered trademarks of the Coca-Cola Company.
It starts with a simple order. A cold Dos Equis dressed with salt and lime. But for the salt clinging to the bottle and the lime perched on top, this is the luckiest of unions. As if the universe has swiped right, pairing flavors together with a crisp Dos Equis. This is refreshment designed by fate, blessed by destiny, and served by bartenders. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The Cowboys are officially playing with fire. Last Friday, Micah Parsons, arguably the best defensive player in the league, publicly requested a trade. And it wasn't just a negotiating ploy. It was a warning shot. The kind you don't take lightly, especially when it comes from the heart and soul of your defense. Parsons is fed up with the stalled contract talks, the perceived disrespect, and the Cowboys' notorious tendency to slow play negotiations. And who can blame him? While Dallas found time and money to extend tight end Jake Ferguson, Parsons continues to wait for his payday. A generational pass rusher left twisting in the wind. It isn't just about money. It's also about trust. And right now, that trust is wearing thin. Jerry and his son Steven have walked the tightrope before, but this situation feels a little different. Not every trade request ends in a departure, but with the tension rising and relationships fraying, the Cowboys better tread carefully, because they may be losing their best player. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it really easy. Fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, convenient installation options, and the best selection of Falken tires. Go to TireRack.com/Dan, see their Falken test results, tire ratings, and reviews, and be sure to check out all the special offers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Pickleball is the fastest growing court sport in the world, and no one makes playing pickleball safer, more comfortable, and quicker on your feet than Tyrrell. Tyrrell is the first purpose-built shoe made specifically for playing pickleball. Tyrrell shoes are made with the famous Vibram outsole. Remember, Tyrol. If you want to elevate your game, you want to play longer, more comfortably, go to TyrrellPickleball.com and experience how Tyrrell can help your game while making you look like a real pro.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Coaches poll released today. Arizona State, number 11 in that coaches poll. And just so nobody thinks it's just a bit on the air, that I only do this when we have conversations about ASU on the air. When producer Evan shared with me this morning the coaches poll and we said that ASU was 11, the first words out of my mouth were, man, you better be good. Like you just got to win. Like there's just so much expectation around this football team. And this top 10 or this top 25 poll, the coaches poll, having them 11th is just further proof that people are buying in with what they saw last year. They are not thinking that it was just a flash in the pan. People are excited.
It starts with how many players they got back. Right? Like how many teams in the country were as successful, not named Alabama, Texas, Georgia, any of the big time programs, Penn State, that get their quarterback back, that get their star receiver back, that had a nice year in the transfer portal.
I want to peel that back a little bit because I think you're making an excellent point. On offense, among their starters, only 3 are players that weren't here last year. And the 3 are all transfers, but you have a redshirt junior, a redshirt senior, and a junior transfer. So guys who've been around college the whole time. On defense, 10 of their 11 starters are players that were with the program a year ago. Think about what I just said in college football in the year 2025. A program that just won a conference, went to the college football playoff, had all that success, right? Usually have some roster turnover, sending guys to the pros, guys transferring because they want a better opportunity. 10 of their 11 starters this year are players that were with the program last year. Where else does that happen, man? Only 4 of their 22 starters, at least according to the depth chart that I'm looking at, are players that were not here last year. They're all transfers, and they're all juniors and seniors. Not many programs can say that they have done that the way Kenny and this ASU program has done it. Now, one of the positions that they are replacing with one of those new players, a transfer, is the running back position. Because Cam Skattebo is not walking through that door. Cam, busy putting on Jackson Dart's jersey and going out there on Giants training camp. Busy endearing himself to the New York media. And as somebody who still has ties back to New York, there is a fun crossover seeing some of my Giants fans' friends embrace and get to see the Cam Skattebo experience. He went hard in training camp to the point where they had to give him a day off the next day, not because he was hurt, just because he went so hard in every play that they just wanted to give him a breather. Because it's just Cam being Cam. They now have to replace that. And to many that didn't watch this program last year, to many that dropped in during the ASU-Texas game in the college football playoff, they hear that Cam Skattebo is not going to be running around for ASU next season, and they think ASU can't do it because they saw the role that Cam had for this team last season. Now, I think you're underestimating the quarterback. You're underestimating the coach. You're underestimating the wide receiver who's probably going to be a first-round pick. Maybe wide receiver 1 when it's all said and done for next year's draft. You're underestimating all of that talent because all you saw was Cam Skattebo take over the game like he did many a time last season and help this team get to where they got to.
And I don't want to talk about Cam Skattebo in a negative light, but they had other pieces to that team. Right? Cam was their biggest. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not taking anything away from him. But the quarterback was so efficient at the end of last year. And they threw the ball around the yard against Iowa State. And late in the season, they were way more productive through the air than they had been at the start. The quarterback played his first college football games at the start of last year. He's a full 12 games, full year under his belt now. Comes into year 2. People love what they saw out of him in year 1. They went out and got probably one of the top 5, top 10 running backs in the transfer portal. Kanye Udo, I get it, wasn't as productive as Cam Skattebo last year. He did have more yards per carry. He had over 6 yards a carry last year at Army.
It rushed for 1,100 yards for 10 touchdowns, and that's a team that runs the ball quite a bit. When you play Army, you know they're running the football, and it still didn't matter. He still dropped 1,100 yards. But I want to go back to what you just said about Sam Levitt, because I think it's a very important point. I think those that watched the end of the season and saw Cam do a lot, Cam lead the way, I think did not see the growth and maturity and the learning on the fly that Sam Levitt went through last season. And he got better as the year went along, and they were able to put more on his plate as the season went along. When you have one of the best backs in the country in Cam Skattebo, you're going to tailor your offense to that player. This year, they're going to put more on Sam's plate, and I think he's going to thrive. Look at the wide receivers he's got. Jordan Tyson, probably going to be wide receiver 1. Malik McClain, solid number 2 wide receiver in this offense.
It's a guy I'm excited about. Transfer from Penn State a few years ago. They had to redshirt him last year because of injury, which is, first of all, just kind of shows the program and the coach that Kenny Dillingham is, to redshirt him as a senior because of injury. Most teams and schools wouldn't do that. But a productive guy that they were able to see kind of blossom in the college football playoff. Right, he caught the long touchdown from Cam Skattebo. And then you added Jalen Moss out of Fresno State, who was productive at Fresno State and can take the top off for this team.
Last year was about Cam. This offense is going to look a little different this year, but I think there's an argument that it could be better. And so can you directly replace Cam in terms of what he meant to the program and what he did in his short time transferring to this program? No. I think players like Cam and the way the university, the way the fan base, the way we all embraced what Cam meant and just what he symbolized about this program, that comes organically. You can't force that. You can't pick somebody on this team and say, you're just going to be that, right? There is sort of this organic nature to falling in love with a player who's just going to run people over, who is just going to be there every single snap. Doesn't matter what happened the previous play. He's going to be out there, has that lunch pail mentality, and you just resonate with those players. You just do, in any sport, you resonate with those types of players. That comes organically. You can't force that. But this team has a lot of talent. They've got first-round NFL talent on both sides of the ball, all over the place. And so it's just going to look different, but it is going to be a very good offense. You've got one of the best young offensive minds in the country as your head coach. You have one of the best young quarterbacks in the country who's getting some Heisman love. You have one of the best young wide receivers, could be wide receiver 1 in the draft. You can't replace Cam, but you can be just as good, if not better, as an offense next season.
What's the line in Moneyball? We can replace him in the aggregate.
Replace him in the aggregate.
That's the goal here. To replace him in the aggregate. It's going to be a running back by committee this year. You may not have the bell cow that Cam Skattebo was.
And Kyson Brown was good last year.
Kyson Brown was good. You have 3 Browns back there. All can play. All of them can play. And so you have a multi-headed running back room led by a guy at Army who is extremely productive. And we talked about Sam Levitt, but you know what arguably his most important trait was last year? He threw 6 picks. In his first season.
Understood the assignment. Take care of the football.
I mean, they didn't turn the ball over, and I can't imagine they're going to turn it over more this year.
And I mean this as a compliment to Sam Levitt. He understood last year his role was to be a game manager. He understood his role was don't make any mistakes, keep the offense on schedule, make the big throws when you need to make them, especially when you're throwing the ball to Jordan Tyson, and don't try to do too much. You've got an extremely talented wide receiver. Get the ball in his hands. Let him feast. You have an extremely talented running back in the backfield. Get the ball to him. Let him do what he does. And Sam Levitt understood the assignment. Now the assignment is, it's now your turn. You managed the offense last year, and you got this team to the place that they got to. Now we got to take it to the next level. And you're the guy that's going to do it.
I'm interested to see how much they use his feet this year. He had some big first downs on the ground last year.
Especially, I mean, he had a couple in the Texas game where he extended plays because the offensive line, let's face it, was pretty banged up by that point.
Yeah.
And he was running around.
Running on fumes, the offensive line was late in the game, and he was running around.
And making plays. Second half of the season, he was doing a lot of it. I'm very excited for this season.
I am too.
I'm very excited for this season.
I don't know a I don't know if out of all my teams that I follow pretty intently, this could be the one I'm most excited about.
And now let me warn you, because now you've opened yourself up to be the most disappointed.
That's fine.
Your level of disappointment is a direct reflection of the amount of expectations you had on a team, right? That's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
How disappointed you are is a direct reflection of what you expected of them. Many of us, especially the two people on this show that graduated from the university we're not shy about it. I am wearing a hat today about the Sun Devils. We have very high expectations. So just be prepared that there is a world where we are extremely disappointed.
And I've chosen to put my faith in this quarterback.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. But to put a bow on this, just to put a bow on this and get us back to the place we always get to, you just got to win. You just have to go out there and be the program that you were last year. That's what you got to do. And I think they can do it. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, he called them both RB1s. Is he right? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. Saturday, October 25th. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pileup. Tickets from $30. On sale now at livenation.com. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Part of the American First Credit Union Concert Series.
Oh, Mr. Gecko, is it true what they say about Geico's emergency roadside service?
I'll own up to it. Yes, it's all true.
You mean to say Geico's emergency roadside service really is 24/7?
And it's available on the phone or app. It's all part of getting more with Geico. I don't mean to be rude, but could I scooch past you all? You're standing in the way of my yoga class.
One more, Mr. Gecko, the fans must know. Why yoga?
Well, it helps with my posture. It's my back. It ain't what it used to be.
Get more than just savings. Get more with Geico.
It's Halloween time, and the Disneyland Resort's 70th celebration is here. Spooky delights are brewing with spine-tingling cheer. A pinch of pumpkin, a dash of fright, a flicker of joy to paint the night. Watch as a giant Mickey pumpkin, a headless horseman, and happy haunts have a ball. Cars Land becomes Radiator Screams. Plus, there are seasonal favorites like Haunted Mansion Holiday and Guardians of the Galaxy, Monsters After Dark. Enjoy tricks, treats, and a ghostly invitation. This happy Halloween, join the Disneyland Resort 70th celebration. Halloween time, August 22nd through October 31st. Visit Disneyland.com or contact your travel advisor for important details.
Hey, it's Big Cat from the Pardon My Take podcast. If you're looking for a drink that keeps the fun going without weighing you down, pick up some Truly Hard Seltzer. It's crazy refreshing, comes in tons of different flavors, and has only 100 calories per serving. Truly makes it easy to keep the fun going with your crew, which is exactly why it's the official hard seltzer of Pardon My Take. Whether you're out with friends, hosting a game day at home, or just kicking back, grab a Truly Hard Seltzer. Pick it up at your local Total Wine, Walmart, or Circle K, because there's always a lot of party left, Phoenix.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
James Conner admitted what we've all kind of started to feel, that with him and Trey Benson, it is not going to be a RB1, RB2 situation, that we're going to see both of these guys get a lot of the work. And James Conner has embraced, in some ways, the fact that this team has two RB1s and that's how this is going to look this upcoming season. So maybe take that into account if you're interested in drafting a James Conner and or Trey Benson for your fantasy teams here in the coming weeks. And this should not come as a surprise. This predates producer Evan, but he can go find it in the tapes. When James Conner signed his extension, I said that this deal was going to age in the following way. That as we got to year 2 and year 3 of that extension, James Conner would kind of fade into the background. And he would be more the complementary piece, and Trey Benson would be the back that takes over. Maybe I looked too far into the future, and maybe that process is going to start this upcoming season. Because James Conner is absolutely right. The Arizona Cardinals have two very talented running backs. Two running backs that will get a lot of opportunity in that backfield. Cardinals want to play, controlling the clock, controlling the tempo. They have a defensive-minded head coach who's going to lean on his running game, is going to want to nurse some small leads late and lean on his defense and his running game to grind these games to a halt. It's going to be a throwback to 2003 to 2010 football. Defense first. Run the football a lot, win the time of possession battle. That's the way Jonathan Gannon wants to play. And while James Conner is a very talented lead back, if that's the way you want to play in today's game, you need to have options. You need to have choices. You need to have two backs that maybe give a different look. Allow you to give your lead back a break and not miss a beat. If you're going to be a run-first team, you cannot have a drop-off from RB1 to RB2. And the Cardinals don't have that drop-off. They have Trey Benson, who looked good in the second half last year before he got hurt. A young, promising running back that they drafted out of Florida State, who was a home run hitter, can break off that big run just like James Conner can. James Conner brings the physical thump, keep the offense ahead of schedule, move the chains, run people over. Trey Benson, that home run hitter, that takes 175, 80 yards. And we talked about the creativity of the offense. What helps your creativity? When you have options. When you're not limited in your personnel. When you can run all of your offense, all of your plays, no matter who the back is in the backfield. You can put Trey Benson in there and run the same set of plays that you would run if James Conner was in there. That's when you have flexibility. That's when your creativity really can flourish. Because when you are hamstrung, when you have to coach with basically one arm tied behind your back because you can't bring in the backup running back and run the same plays because they don't do a certain thing well, it messes up your flow. Then if you're behind schedule, if you're trailing in the game, you then have to pin that guy to the bench, and you don't get to use your full complement of players. But the Arizona Cardinals are unique in many ways that they have this option, and they have players who are embracing it. Here's a quote. This is from Darren Urban on the Arizona Cardinals website talking about James Conner. James Conner quotes about this situation. Quote, "It's the situation we are in, and we can't shy away from it. We've got to talk about it and understand what's expected. We want to be the best rushing team in football. We need that from Benson and the rest of the backs. We can't shy away from those conversations," end quote. James Conner embracing this situation. Is he thrilled? I wouldn't be thrilled if I had another back that would get just as much work as me. I want to be the lead back. I want to rush for 1,000, 1,200 yards. I want to be a featured back that is the RB1 in fantasy leagues, and I'm putting up big numbers and I'm getting paid. But James Conner got paid. James Conner got his payday. And so you're a little bit more willing to embrace that mentorship role and taking the young Trey Benson under your wing and work together as a group because you got your contract extension. You're here for the next 3 seasons. You got paid. Deservedly so. But there's also in that quote some honesty of just being open and understanding, yeah, this is the situation we're in. This is what we're going to have to do to be the best, and we got to embrace it. And you love that. And that's why at the time that they signed the extensions, both Budda Baker and James Conner, what did we say? We said, these are your leaders from a culture perspective on both sides of the ball. Your entire offensive identity is based around James Conner and who he is as a player. These quotes are further proof of why he's the culture of that offense. People are going to follow somebody who talks like that. Same thing with Budda Baker on the defensive side. He's got all those young corners under his wing. They go where Budda goes. You have 2 really great culture setters on both sides of the ball. It makes Jonathan Gannon's job so much easier. Trying to instill what he's tried to put together over the last 2 years. And I think in many ways has been successful in putting together the right culture. There's a winning culture around this team right now. They've got to do it now. They've got to have the results to back it up. But there's a winning culture. The way they talk, the way they act, the way they practice. It's all about results now. And James Conner embracing that Trey Benson is also kind of a co-RB1. Not great for, again, those fantasy players out there. But I think the truth of the situation is both of these guys are going to be heavily featured in this offense this season and are going to have major roles in a running game that is going to determine a lot of the results for the Arizona Cardinals. They're going to have leads late, and they're going to lean on these 2 guys to grind out the clock, to pick up key first downs, keep the chains moving, keep the other team's offense off the field. When they play some of the best teams with the best quarterbacks, they just want to keep that quarterback on the sideline. You're not getting as many attempts. You're not getting as many chances. We're going to overwhelmingly win the time of possession battle. Why? Because we've got 2 running backs that we can change in and out and do all the same stuff with. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, it is the leftovers, all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the day today. We'll get to them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Let's go.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Breaking Benjamin. Stay forever. And 3 Days Grace. Live. October 8th at Desert Diamond Arena with special guest Return to Dust. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Don't miss Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace, presented by the Big Red Radio.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in Phoenix. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture. Wow, look at you. I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing. Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, I showed them all our inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. Ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Helzberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at helzberg.com.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West, every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here to wrap up today's edition of the Lunch Break here on KDUS AM 1060. Hey, if you're listening over on the KDUS AM 1060 app, or you're streaming us over on the KDUS1060.com website, you can listen for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Colorado Rockies on Saturday, August 9th at Chase Field. First 20,000 fans at the game on Saturday, August 9th will get a Corbin Carroll Rebel Pilot Bobble, courtesy of Cox. You can get your tickets at dbacks.com/SGT. We've got your chance to win 4 tickets for listening on the app or streaming us on the website. Just make sure you're registered and logged in while you are listening for your chance to win. And you don't have to just be listening to my show. You can listen to Dan Patrick in the morning. You can be listening to Jim Rome right after us. You can be listening to Rooster in the afternoon, James Out West tonight. Whatever you're listening to, just if you're listening on the app, you're entered to win. It is The Leftovers. Producer Evan has the stories. What do we got today?
Well, some NBA news to start off our show, or the leftovers of our show. Spurs have extended De'Aaron Fox 4-year, $229 million deal.
I don't have my phone. What's the math on that? What's 229 divided by 4?
Give me 2 seconds.
Nah, because I'm proving a point here, because I think that if I'm doing the rough math, I think it's going to be close to 60. It's going to be like 50-something.
57 and a quarter.
Yeah. De'Aaron Fox just got paid $57 million. For all of those of you out there who did not want Devin Booker to sign that big extension that he signed, getting paid $70 million by the time it's all said and done. De'Aaron Fox just got nearly $60 million. Would you rather have De'Aaron Fox or would you rather have Devin Booker?
It's a lot of money for I like De'Aaron Fox.
Me too.
It's a lot of money.
It's just further proof that the Devin Booker contract is fine. No issues with it whatsoever.
Do you like the Spurs this year? To me, at some point they got to start getting over the hump with this team.
Well, Wemby is back from the blood clot. Fox just signed the extension. They still have Castle, right? They didn't trade any of their young players. They didn't want to move any of those pieces for Kevin Durant. So it is a young core that's still waiting to break through. I think it is a fair expectation for this year to say should be one of the top 6 teams.
I think if they don't make the playoffs, you look at this year for the Spurs and you probably call it a failure, despite injuries and everything like that.
Play-in tournament count?
Play-in tournament does not count. So you have to be a top 6 team.
Or be in the play-in tournament and then get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fair expectation on this team. I think those are fair. That's a fair bar for them to try to meet.
Because I feel like whenever you hear somebody talk about the NBA, it's like, oh, well, I like what the Spurs are building. You're like, okay, but at some point.
Yeah, I don't want you to keep building forever. Can something be built? Can something be done? Can I see the sky rise be completed instead of just constantly, oh, we're working on it? At some point, you got to build it. Sometimes it has to be fully built. The Spurs are getting close to that point. Not yet, but they're getting close.
Furthering on the NBA news, NBA Christmas Day games are out for the 2025-2026 season. Who cares? I'm pushing back on that. You told me to put this in the leftovers.
That's not true.
Who cares? You said.
I'll deny it. I'll deny it.
I was on Twitter, and here you go. Oh, that's a good leftover story.
I did say this. Give me the games.
5 games. Pistons at Knicks. Cavs at Celtics, Lakers at Mavs, Spurs at Thunder, Houston at Warriors.
I like 3 of those matchups.
The Suns not playing on Christmas Day.
You know what? That doesn't surprise me that they're not in there.
And I know what everybody's thinking. Oh gosh, which of those games am I going to watch on Christmas Day? And don't worry, I'll tell you here in 2 seconds. You're going to watch Cowboys Commanders and Lions Vikings, as well as Broncos Chiefs. That's what you're going to watch. Nobody's going to pay attention to the NBA games anymore.
There are 3 of those matchups that are intriguing. I love Detroit, New York, because there's a lot of chatter out of the Pistons that if they were fully healthy, they would have beaten the Knicks in the first round last year. Obviously, you know what you're doing when you put Lakers and Mavs together, right? You're just setting,
at Dallas.
Yeah, you're just setting up for that. And I like Spurs Thunder. Thunder, the defending champs, the young guard with the Spurs, the team that's trying to chase them down. I like that.
I think those are good ones.
You're right. I'm just going to be watching the football instead.
No, it'll be cool to check those scores.
Yeah, during halftime, I'll be flipping around and checking those scores.
But yeah, see, on Christmas Day, you could also do Cowboys at Commanders.
Yeah, Micah Parsons will be playing that game. Micah Parsons, Terry McLaurin. A little battle there on Thanksgiving. Or Christmas.
Micah Parsons won't be playing. He might be in that game, but not for the Cowboys. He's not playing for the Cowboys.
Did you hear what Jerry Jones said about this?
No.
He told Cowboys fans, you don't have to worry about this. They're not trading him.
Again, I don't really care what he says. Like, you understand. Who cares? You understand, like, anything he says now, you can't trust anyone. He calls him Michael Parsons.
But he
hasn't called him by his right name in a press conference yet.
He is still the guy in charge.
Like, imagine if the owner came out and every time in a press conference called him Kyle Murray.
It would be bad.
It would be bad.
It would be bad.
It'd be really bad.
He says he's not worried. He says this is nothing really new. So we're fine. Everything's okay.
The Lions are playing the Vikings and the Broncos are playing the Chiefs. That's what everybody's going to be watching.
Yes, I will be watching both of those games.
Okay. A little MLB power rankings post deadline.
Diamondbacks, number 2.
Yes. How did you know?
Let me guess. Post deadline.
Do you want me to start at? So this is given post deadline and the weekend.
Okay. I want to try to guess the top 5 in order.
Okay.
Milwaukee Brewers, number 1.
Bang. Got it. Bang, bang, bang. I was going to wait to play that until you got 3 in a row.
So now I have to pick who the number 2 team is. Detroit's not playing all that great. Mets and Phillies kind of trading blows there in the NL East. Yankees not playing well. Toronto's been up and down. So I pick Seattle or Houston out there in the West. There's a lot of options here. A lot of options. I'm going to get this wrong, I think. I am going to say the number.
Can I give you one?
Please.
Run the ball here. Like, just stay on course of who could be number 2.
I'll go with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
There you go.
Okay.
Bang, bang, bang.
I was considering them. They were the team I didn't mention because they were the team I was going to go to. So, all right, Brewers 1, Dodgers 2. We got to get an American League team in here at some point, right?
No, it's another National League.
Is it really? Then it is. Is it the Padres?
It is not.
It's the Cubs.
It's the Cubs.
Okay. We won't hit the drop for that. Cubs are 3.
Cubs are 3. Number 4 is our first American League team.
I think this is where they'll put the Toronto Blue Jays.
That is the Toronto Blue Jays. Number 5, another NL team.
I'd put the Phillies here.
Phillies here. 6, your second American League team.
This is where we put the Houston Astros.
That is not. That is the Detroit Tigers.
Okay, we still have the Tigers up there. All right.
7 is the Boston Red Sox, because I don't think you would have ever guessed that.
They are playing some great baseball as of late. Let me check, because at one point yesterday.
They have now passed the Yankees.
Okay, I was going to say at one point yesterday, because the Yankees lost, they were in front. I didn't know if the results kept them in front. So they've now passed the Yankees in the standings.
And I just want to be very clear that Roman Anthony
is good.
Good.
Yeah, good baseball player.
Yeah, he's hitting .348 with a .447 on base and a .500 slug over his last 30 games.
I do not think the deal will age as poorly as it has looked so far. But the Red Sox have won the Rafael Devers trade here so far.
I know.
Like the Giants they sold
the Rafael Devers home run the other day was yesterday, right?
Yesterday he hit a moonshot. Yes,
he hit a moonshot.
But the Giants are 500. They're 6 games back. They sold at the deadline. They're 3-7 in their last 10. While on the other side, you have the Boston Red Sox, who are the top wild card team, 11 games above 500. They've won 5 in a row, 8-2 in their last 10. I mean, you couldn't be two
very different teams.
If you told me Rafael Devers was traded between these two teams, you would expect him to have been traded to the Red Sox, not off of the Red Sox. So credit to Alex Cora and the entire Red Sox organization. They didn't do a whole lot at the deadline, but they're just playing good baseball right now.
Couldn't believe they really didn't get help.
Hey, they got Dustin May, you know? That's going to do it for us here on the lunch break. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Jim Rome, he's coming up next. Everybody, have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.